Will it be the same link regardless? Okay, so I'm in the YouTube thing. Do you remember where we found that?
Well, from the Zoom meeting, I know that was where. Are you on your office computer or your office laptop?
Ooh, Gina McElrath is here. Hi, Gina. She's in early. Okay. Oh, there we go. You're muted. You're muted, Gina. I muted everybody to come in on the meeting so that we wouldn't have feedback. So you have to unmute yourself, I think. Can you hear me? Down at the bottom of the screen is a microphone and it should have a cross through it. Maybe I have to. And you have to click that to unmute yourself. All right. Okay, Lee. Oh, I see up there. Copy streaming link. Is that what I need?
Yeah,
okay.
Copy and then paste it in an email to me, and I will post it on the blog.
Okay. I'm just going to let it keep running. Now I got to figure out how to exit full screen and go to, no, not that. Okay, I'm going to click that out and go to my email. This is too hard. Okay, DN and right click, paste, and of course it's, okay. I sent it to you.
Okay.
Now we do. I got to figure out how to unmute Gina. Maybe I have to do it. Okay. There you go. I'm the one that has to unmute you. Goodbye, Leanne.
I haven't got the email yet. Did you? Oh, wait, there it is. I got it. Okay.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. I muted everybody on entry so that so we wouldn't have so much feedback. That's why.
Okie dokie.
Okay, I'm going to move you over so you can see Joyce.
Well, that's all right.
You don't have to see me. Well,
Okay.
Let me put the computer here.
Good morning, Joyce.
Hi.
It's a whole new world.
Yes, it is. You didn't send out the director's report?
I did. Did you not get it?
Well,
It was in a second email. Oh shoot, I can't share them. I have to send myself the email in order to share them. Maybe I should do that.
I think I got minutes like 3 times.
Yeah, because I screwed that up. I'm going to send them to you. Did you get, Gina, did you get the list that of what the branches are doing? What they've been doing? You got that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I just sent it to you. All right, let's move you over here.
Got an eyelash in my eye. You can't do that without touching your face.
Oh, I touch my face like 4 million times a day. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I have drop and I'm forever putting drops in and stuff. So yeah. That's not gonna happen. I don't think I'll need any.
Okay. Now I got everything. So how you feeling?
I'm doing good. Joyce looks good. We're not maintaining social distancing right now.
My granddaughter came down yesterday and hadn't seen her for quite a while. So she's an over-the-road trucker
Okay.
and she's got some health problems, so she's grounded. And but she said trucks are not running because there's no loads to pick up.
Really?
There's no companies making anything.
Okay, now.
So there's nothing to pick up.
Okay, who else? Oh, I see Julie. Julie, I have you muted. Are you there?
Yes, yes.
There she
Okay.
is.
I'm going.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
You're not. You're unmuted. I unmuted you.
Okay.
We can hear you. But when the meeting starts, I'm going to mute everybody again because otherwise we'll have too much feedback. And then I'll try to watch everybody. You can also comment. Who else is up there? It's Jan, but she's not. It's not letting me undo anything with her right now. Who's the one? This is Jan right here. This is me, Regina, and Julie. Okay. Okay. I have got to go use the girls' room. I'll be right back. So how's it going?
It's good to see everybody.
Yep, sort of. Let's see, that looks like Wendy over there.
Feel like I'm back on Romper Room.
It's the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it is.
That too.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see everybody.
And let's see, who else is there?
Hi, Mr. Piter.
Oh yeah, he's at the branch.
Oh,
So,
there they
Jan, you're on there twice.
there's Wendy.
I can't hear you.
I think she has her muted. She has to unmute her. Okay, you've got Mr. Potter, you got Wendy, you got Jan. I'm coming. Okay. So,
I don't see Mr. Piter. Is he just voice only?
is that the branch?
No, he's there.
Mr. Piter.
Yeah,
I can see.
hang on.
Move the tiles where you can see everybody.
That's what I think I can do a gallery view. There we go.
Yeah, there we
There's
go.
Mr. Piter.
I
Can
still don't-
everybody,
Gina,
Yeah,
why?
we may have to have everybody speak a little louder because even with me having this set up the way I do, he may not be able to hear as well. So if everyone's speaking, if they could speak, just a little louder. I've got it up as high as the speaker will go.
Yeah, I don't know why, Jan, you're appearing twice for some reason.
Am I now?
Can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. I gotta call Ruth here. What about Janine? Janine has not come in yet.
There you go. Now you can see everybody. Now I can actually try to move it up just a little bit and you can hear maybe a little better, Mr.
Wait,
Piter.
is that Katie down there?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yep, there's Katie. Let me unmute her. Okay, so she can
In the middle there.
find Ruth here. Katie, can you hear us?
Yes.
Or should you
Yay.
okay there? Or do you want to try to move just a little closer? 'Cause I keep- Okay. Well, I've got it on the, okay, we're going to readjust this just a little bit here at Marionville for a second. There we go. Can somebody say something and we can see if he can hear it better, please?
Something.
Hello, Mr. Piter.
Mr.
Hi, Mr.
Piter.
Hi.
Hey,
Good
Ruth. This
morning.
is Gina.
Good morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Gina with the library. We are having a board meeting this morning. I had called and told Ruth yesterday. Right. And she was going to participate in the board meeting via the phone. Is she able to do that? So we still missing Jean? I think Jennifer dropped off a packet for her with papers. Okay. I know Janine's, we talked this morning, so I don't know if she's having trouble or not.
It looks like Wendy is still muted.
Oh,
Is
I
she-
keep muting myself.
Oh,
Yeah, you guys can self-mute, but I've unmuted you from my end, so you have control of it now. So,
Well, I'm going to stay muted until I need to talk because my kids are doing all kinds of things.
it's going to be providing us entertainment, right?
They could be.
I'm going to call, you take care of Ruth. I'm going to see what the deal is with Janine, why she's not on here. I'll be right back.
Here's a good book I got stuck with. You guys all read this?
I've heard it's good.
It's really good, and I've had it for weeks now. It's been great.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Do you see all the people or just
Yeah,
you?
we can see everybody. We just haven't gotten Janine on yet.
There's a.
I
button up at-
only see myself and four other people.
Change the tiles to
Go up in your corner.
type of
and
view.
I don't know what to do about Janine. Her phone is busy, so.
Well, if I hit that, I only get one or I get four. I can't seem
Even
to.
off, there should be
Oh,
a
there
little,
they are.
yeah.
They're there. It's just that
Oh, Ruth?
I have to scroll through them.
Ruth, are you on there? Okay. What are
Okay.
you doing?
Can you hear us okay?
Okay.
All right. So, let me try one more time and then we can get started.
How are you all making it during this quarantine?
I'm getting bored.
I don't know. I've been busy every day because I come into work and I'm here like all day. I'm like actually busier than I was before.
Yeah, I'm still
No.
working too.
It doesn't sound good.
I feel like I'm busier too, but it's in a different way. I'm just busier at home.
Yes.
Sell on eBay. I sell on eBay, and it's been good months for eBay. People are shopping from home.
Oh, yeah. Bet.
Well, that's good news because we got my parents' house sold in a week. And we're supposed to
Wow.
close on May 20th. But we have a full house of stuff that I have to get out with nowhere to take it.
Wow.
I'm heading up there this weekend to try to do some Facebook Marketplace selling. So at any rate, Regina, I would say let's just go ahead.
Okay, let's bring this meeting to order. Minutes from March, has everyone read them? I need a motion to approve.
I so move. If you're gonna first or second, you need to tell me.
Okay, so Jan Vaughn is the first. Who is the second?
Wendy,
Wendy.
all in favor?
Aye.
Raise your hand if you're in favor. Okay, that's easy.
Help me.
Well, that was everybody.
Motion carried. Financial report.
Okay, so this month, or for the month of March rather, we did get a little bit of current tax money. I'm thinking this has got to probably be the last month we get that. So for March, we collected about $28,000. We're looking pretty good for what we estimated for the year. We've actually collected more than we estimated, but part of that's because of us moving those funds around into Shellknob and into the Monette building funds. So,
Ruth, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
okay.
I'm not sure that I'm gonna be able to.
Oh,
Okay, well, if you have to leave us
You-
anytime,
you
it's
just tell
okay, because we've got a quorum, so we're good.
Okay, thank you, Cora.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then in expenditures, we spent $151,857.79. It's just pretty much typical business as usual. For the month of March, we have a total of $1,242,064 in our operating funds and a total of $814,454 in our funds for construction projects. That's for the combined amount for Monette and Shell Knob. So if you look at the comparison to March of last year, you can see that we took a hit in our operating funds. That's because of the multiple projects we've had with roofing and air conditioning and that sort of thing. So it's good that we had the money available to be able to do those things and not borrow anything. So right now we're in good shape. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but that's where we're at.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the financial report?
Yes.
Charles and
Julie, second.
Julie. That was good, Julie. I liked the two.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? I can't see everybody at once, so motion carried. No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was ready to move ahead.
That's all right, circulation stats.
All right, for circulation for the month, oops, I got my wrong sheet here. We had, which is not too bad considering we closed, what was it, the 16th or 17th, something like that. We had 16,538 in circulation. We were only open 11 days. Everything falls out pretty much the same as usual. Monette was first, Cassville came in second, and Mount Vernon came in third. Those three branches are always trading for second and third. Our MoLib to go numbers are way up, obviously, because so many people are using e-materials, yay. And you can see that we're quite a bit ahead with Hoopla. We had over 2,000 checkouts. So we had 4,700 e-material checkouts in March. So that's really, really good. And then, of course, our computer use is way down because we were only open 11 days. So only about 1,400, which is about typical for half a month, and about the same on Wi-Fi was only 432. We still managed to have 134 programs and almost 3,300 attendees. So kiss those numbers goodbye, because that April's going to be pretty weird to report on. So, and then with the branch activity report, there's really not much to talk about. I mean, it's just pretty much typical programs, story times, and the adult things that are going on. I don't really have anything spectacular to report on that. So that's kind of where we're at with circulation.
Okie dokie. Director's report.
Okay, so this was interesting to try to cobble something together for you. So I just wanted to recap open positions that we currently have. We have Aurora with the part-time library assistant, Cassville with a part-time library assistant, Monette with a part-time library assistant, and then we had decided to post the youth services position as a part-time position, and then we have a full-time library assistant youth services in Mount Vernon. So that is 5 positions, and we'll have to determine once we do reopen if we're going to fill all those positions or not. So obviously we've not done any hiring, we've not done any interviews, and I've gotten no more applications. So we'll see how that goes once we're back up and running. Hey, Janine, I see you came in. Okay.
Can you hear us? Yes, I think that'd be fine.
Yeah, if you're tired of holding the phone, Ruth, that's fine. We've got 7 people, so we're good. All right.
And we'll let you know what was discussed, okay? Okay, take care. Okay, you take care of yourself.
Okay, so Ruth is out. Okay. Yeah, can you, Janine, wave if you can hear us?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yay, we're glad you're joining us. Okay. So as far as maintenance goes, we still have heating units that are pending installation for Aurora, and then Mount Vernon, we're also waiting the new roof there. We have not followed up yet with either of those companies since we've not been around. So Carroll Electric, all that's been put on hold indefinitely. There was a conversation between them and our architect, Jessica, and because of COVID and the closures, there's just not anything they can do to progress anyway. Courier service was suspended almost immediately after we closed because libraries across the state closed and there was no point in having courier service and we couldn't do it safely. They're ready to start back up again whenever there's enough of us to start having delivery. I imagine that's probably, we're talking probably mid to late May at the earliest is what my guess would be based on conversations that I've been having with the other directors. So I just wanted to fill you in kind of on what's been going on since we closed, just kind of an overall view. And then you all have a sheet that I gave you that the branches reported to me about. We closed obviously at 12:30 p.m. on March 17th with plans to reopen April 6th and paid all staff as they were scheduled. Then we remained closed until the 24th per our email vote with plans to possibly reopen Monday, the 27th, and all staff are paid for those regular hours. We've asked patrons not to return materials, but we only had a few places where we could actually lock the book drop so that we knew that people would probably more than likely return the materials anyway. And so I asked the branches to routinely check their book drops so that we didn't have materials laying on the ground because that has happened when book drops have been full. No fines have been assessed during this time. Materials are supposed to be placed in a quarantined area. I know Cindy here at Monette has been boxing them and labeling the boxes so she knows how long things have been sitting. And then once we just determine when we're going to reopen, they'll start checking those items in. One of the things we probably should discuss is, should we forgive fines through the end of the summer? And the reason I ask this is because we're going to have to quarantine these items before they can be checked in. And we don't want people having, heart attacks because they have so many fines on their account, which they've not really accrued because they did check the material in, but we don't want staff handling material if it potentially has virus on it. We know that the virus can last on plastic surfaces at least 3 days. So these items have to be quarantined a minimum of 3 days. And I'm thinking probably 7 to 10 days is probably a safer bet, just so we're not touching them. So that's just something for you to think about. If you're okay with that, we're not going to lose a huge amount of revenue with this, but the goodwill that we have with the public, especially going into a June 2nd vote, is really, really important. Oh, that was one thing I forgot to say, that you all know the election was postponed to June 2nd. Greg has been posting resources on our library Facebook page and website. As I've given him information, he's posted that. We have some staff that have worked sporadically at their branch locations, doing various things, and that's reported in that branch report. Some staff have been doing story times. I don't know if you've seen Julie McCullum's things on Facebook, but Joyce said that she actually watched some of them, and it's kind of fun to see.
She did some science experiments for kids using everyday household items, and she did a really good job. It was really interesting for kids.
We were sort of ramped up to try to do some curbside delivery. Had been talking with the supervisors about that, and that's about, I think it was the next day, or may have been that same day, the governor put the stay-at-home order in place, and so that kind of killed things. But what we did decide was, with the book donations that are just sitting around that we would typically sell, we just started putting those out in various locations for customers to take for free. They don't have to return them. If they want to later, they can, but we felt like that was a way for people to at least have something new to read. And so you'll see in the branch report, the different places that have done that. It seems to be going pretty well in most locations. I know here in Monette, Cindy said Price Cutter has gone really well. Of course, we continue to provide Wi-Fi access in our parking lots. Jana said the other day she pulled in and there were 5 or 6 people out in the parking lot using Wi-Fi. I've seen it sporadically when I've been by Monette, but not as much.
And they're kind of creepy because there's been people sitting in between this building and the garage at 5 o'clock in the morning using Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't know why they like to sit between the garage and so forth, but
in the dark.
In the dark. Then we did, before we closed, I did call Hoopla, and we increased checkouts to 10 per person, and we increased our monthly allotment to $3,500. And we also changed, we had been letting people check out up to, I think, $4 was the top price for an item. So I decreased that amount so they can't check out the expensive items right now. So that has really helped us keep the limit from not bumping people out. We're not spending money right now on real books, so we can put a little bit more into the Hoopla if we need to. After a conversation with Joyce and Greg and Leanne, I got Leanne to really look at how we could do temporary e-cards. So we rolled that out March 30th to customers who maybe didn't have library cards already. And that, I think she's had about 30 or 40 people that she's actually signed up with e-cards. I asked to make that temporary because we do not have the money to roll out e-cards to the entire 2-county area permanently, because Hoopla is so expensive. We could spend our whole book budget just on Hoopla for the few people that are actually using it. And few meaning compared to what we have in regular card holders. So they'll have an opportunity once we open back up fully to convert that to a real card, but after July 1st, unless we decide to extend it, those e-cards will go away. About half of the people that have contacted Leanne to get a card actually already had cards, so she was able to get them hooked up with the card number again. I've ordered additional materials through Overdrive using our Advantage account. I've spent about $3,000 on that. And I tried to pick mostly older titles, Christian fiction and stuff that I thought would go out differently than what's already in there. And I've been periodically checking, and it seems like those are circulating really well. There was a plea from different members of the consortium for those of us who had Advantage accounts where we had it set so that the book titles that we ordered were only for our customers for 6 months. They asked if we could release those titles so that they could go out because we have such heavy demand right now. And so I went ahead and did that. So all the books that we're ordering through that Advantage account are available for the whole consortium, not just our customers right now. And I'll go back in and change that afterward. But for now, that seems to be working really well. Then there was some discussion with the library directors, and somebody had said they were looking at this database called Creative Bug. It's actually through Joanne Fabrics, and it's all different kinds of crafts and how-to videos. And I went and looked at it and had the supervisors look at it, and it's really, really cool. And as much crafting as we do in programs throughout the system, I thought it might be a good purchase. It is a little expensive. It's $2,338, but we actually had an offer from Cheryl to use the Peterson funds to pay for it. And so that's what we decided to do. So I went ahead, and that I thought it would be ready to roll out yesterday, but I got to the end of the day and didn't hear from them. So I've got to follow up with that, but we'll have that rolling out. Then EBSCO offered Rosetta Stone, which is a language learning database, for free through June 30th. I was curious what it would cost because I thought, well, maybe we could afford it. Yeah, I don't think so. It was $9,600 for a year for the plus version and $4,800 just for the base version. So I doubt we'll do that after the free thing ends. And then finally, the other thing we started looking at, the state library offered a opportunity because we know summer reading is going to be vastly different this year from years past, and that we're going to have to do a lot of virtual programming and so forth. So we decided that the state decided to roll out a grant opportunity for what's called Reading Challenge software. And so I applied for, and we received the grant for that. And I selected a product called Wandu Reader. And it's from one of our vendors we've used for furniture and so forth, and Demco. They're also the ones that we order our summer reading supplies. We talk about it being Upstart. That's a part of their company. At any rate, Wandu Reader is really, really cool. We can not only do summer reading with them, but we can also do winter reading challenges. We can do the 1,000 books before kindergarten through it. So there's a lot of good opportunities, and it was really very inexpensive in comparison to some of the other products that I looked at. And I think that's probably one reason we got that funded. So I did ask if after this year subscription, if what the cost would be, and it would still be $544. So I just thought we couldn't beat that for a year's worth of reading. I'll tell you a little bit more about it once I know more about it, but basically you'll sign up for the reading challenge on there, and there'll be different badges that you can earn along the way. They'll still have to come in to get their prizes for summer reading into the branches, or we'll have to have them delivered to them. But I think it's going to be really, really fun. The kids, the adults can too, but you can earn different levels. So you can create an avatar based on your number of hours that you've read or the number of books that you've read. They said that the target age for the avatars is about 11 or 8 to 11. And adults have the opportunity to turn off that storyline if they don't want to mess with, the cutesy stuff that comes with it. So, but I know a lot of adults that probably would like to build an avatar. So who knows? And then many of us have been attending weekly online webinars throughout the closure. I know Jane has done quite a few. The public library directors have been meeting every Tuesday. I've been meeting with the Southwest Library Directors, which is just the libraries in our part of the state, since we seem to share some of the same commonalities. And then the youth services have been meeting Friday mornings, and then I've been meeting with the supervisors in the afternoon on Fridays. So we can just kind of touch base and keep up with what's going on. So if you want a more detailed list of what the branches have been doing, then that's the sheet that's the branch activities during closure. I think some of the branches probably underreported some of the things that they're doing. So don't, some of them were really good about saying every single thing that they were doing. So I've been really pleased with how things are going. Cassville is actually testing this week, checking books in and reshelving them. And I'm going to have her speak at our meeting this Friday to the other branches about how that's going, because there's some issues if we have holds that get released, and then we're going to have to call the customers to say they really can't come pick them up, and so forth. So there may be some fines that we'll have to forgive. So we've got that going on. But are you all okay with us forgiving fines through the end of the summer if we have to?
I think so.
I don't think we need a vote on it. I don't think we do.
Well,
Do
yeah,
we?
I would think you would.
Okay.
Okay. So we need a motion to forgive fines through the end of the summer. Do we have a specific date in mind, or just?
Why don't we, I don't know what
I don't know what the school schedule is or how that's going to work out this year.
why don't we say through the end of August? Let me look at what the date is. Let's say August 31st.
Okay, so I need a motion.
I did have a question about that.
Mhm.
Will we publicize that? Because if people know they have till the end of August, that's a long time for them to lose their stuff.
Yes. I don't know that we'll publicize it per se.
I would say if there's a question about it or someone, specifically ask us about it. We don't know how exactly this is going to go this summer either. Whether it's going to get worse, whether it's going to get better. If we were to have to shut down again, then you've got to start over with all these things you're doing. I don't know. Or you can set, August 1st.
Yeah, we could, that's true. We could do August 1st, and then it can always be extended. That just gives us some wiggle room.
Yeah. Well, I'm not concerned about us collecting the fines. I'm just concerned that if you just tell people, oh, in 5 months, we'll want our books back, and then we'll start charging fines. I mean, most people aren't going to know where the books are.
Yeah. Well, they can start, we'll have them, they've already been bringing their books back, so I'm not too worried about that.
Okay.
Hey, Gina, I'm sure that Greg has already considered this, but maybe with these new things like the craft opportunity and the Rosetta Stone and the reading software, maybe this would be a good time to buy a boxed ad in the papers that say, look what we've got for you, because they cover so well what the library offers that I think people probably get used to skipping that little article, where maybe a boxed ad, maybe the papers would give you a deal on it right now, since they're
That
probably,
could be, yeah, I could talk to him about that and see.
because that's a lot of neat opportunities that people may not realize, and it would open up, you could put hoopla in there and those other things too, but maybe you'd get hook some new fish, maybe.
Well, I may call Murray. He's been doing sort of a regular update, and we may not have to pay anything. He may just go ahead and put it in anyway.
I can picture.
You probably can have Greg do signs to put up on the branch doors, because not everybody looks at social media, and but they do stop by occasionally the library, even just to see if it's open, and that would at least give them some information.
Yeah.
Well, and the advertiser down here, the advertiser gets everywhere, the newspaper-ish advertiser, they probably might do something with you. But then it seems like when it came time for them to vote, maybe they would realize we have some fresh new things to offer people.
Right.
We still need a motion.
Okay. And you need a date. Which date were you doing? 1st, 31st?
I prefer the first,
The 1st.
Okay.
Okay.
but we need a motion.
I move that we extend collecting fines until August 1st.
Okay, Katie.
Do I have
And
a second?
who?
I'll second Julie.
Julie. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. August 1st.
Okay.
I need
Got
a
it.
motion now to approve the director's report, please. Wendy?
I make a motion to approve the director's report.
Who's that?
I second it.
Jan first.
Jan Bond was
Wendy
first
second.
and Wendy was second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Can I just say that I really appreciate what the staff is doing during this hard time, you know, just to keep our patrons happy and, you know, forgiving the fines and all of that. I think that's awesome. The e-cards. So great job, staff.
Thank you. I'll
Thank them.
pass that on to
Thank them all for from all of us.
Yeah, I think they're all really trying to think outside the box to, you know, because they know their patrons. I mean, we're not like a super library like Springfield Green or St. Louis or, you know, we're local and they know all these people. And so I think they really have been trying. I mean, I've been impressed with the stuff I've looked at online and, you know, I mean, to go to that extent to do it. And it's really kind of interesting. It's kind of like having Julie's like a female hen o'head. And so she's been doing all kinds of stuff on there and she's really good at it. I mean, she's, you know, so yeah, I think they've done a really good job to try to do anything and everything they can and still be safe.
Okay. Thank you, Gina, for all of that you've been doing. PLA conference report.
Okay, Jana, are you here somewhere?
Yes, ma'am. If you guys will just pardon for a moment, I'm going to turn the camera for a second so we can kind of share from that angle and can go ahead and there we go. I think that's going to be all right. I just wanted to first and foremost say thank you again for allowing us to have these opportunities. Can you guys hear me okay? And to do this, because it's really important when you work with a corporation and that is very community oriented and also cares about their employees not only getting training that will benefit everyone in the community, but personal as well as professional development. So once again, I want to say thank you all. I attended well over 20 plus sessions. Some of the sessions that I had planned to attend, either someone was sick or sessions had gotten changed, so I didn't get to go to all those. But when we were working on the grant that I've gotten to go to PLA, I had to list those out completely. And so I was just going to share a couple of them. These are actually books that I got. Most of these I did purchase to use in the collection, to use in programming, but some of them were free. We do get a lot of different things when we go to the exhibits and exhibit halls that are uncorrected proofs and not for resale. And those are some of the wonderful things that we get to share in the book club or just as donations, because we can't put them out there on the book sales and things like that, but we can use them as prizes. And we can use them for things like that. So that's one of the things that's really great. We brought back boxes of those that we've still got to go ahead and get through to share for some of the things that we're doing in the summer and with the different book clubs. We had this year multiple big idea speakers, and the opening sessions we had the young lady that spoke there was Stacey Abrams, and she was amazing. And I could go on with that, but I will not, because I know you guys have got so much to do. But really, she questioned us on what kind of a legacy is our library system wanting to leave behind. What as librarians, you know, we want to be the book lady or the story time girl or the, you know, the reference person or the person that helped them get their job. But how are we changing lives? And especially now, because we went before COVID had even come out, now I'm seeing those impacts across the board because we have, as you guys shared, had to step up and we're having to learn a new way to do a lot of things. And we are doing it. It's a little different. It'll be a little harder. But, you know, challenges brings new adventure and brings new things. And like you guys all said, this is going to show what wonderful opportunities we have in many of our communities. So one of the things that I'm going to bring back for the adult services is our craft programs, virtual programs and avatars for our adults and seniors, those that have memory and things like that. There's wonderful things now that we use our 3D goggles that I've used with children for about 6 years. I found a way now I can use those in my adult programming and my memory programs. And I'm so excited to be able to get back into nursing homes and be able to do those again and do some of those in-house. So like say if you've grown up in Texas, but you hadn't been able to be home to your hometown in Texas in years, we now can put those 3D goggle glasses on and they can tour their hometown to a point. So to bring a connection and to see those families and those people be able to share those moments that meant so much to them was just wonderful. Networking and finding out the different things on the barriers that we have in our community. Oh my goodness. Like I said, our barriers have since changed since we got back from the session, but we are overcoming those barriers. And that's what all these meetings and webinars and things are about. So once again, I said there was a lot of sessions. I'm going to be sharing them with all of your staff, the community, and going to be continuing to see those come into play as we get back and to a certain level coming in the East programming that we're doing at this time across the board. But I just wanted to say thank you again. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to get out there and have BLRL join the world because actually there was people from all around the world at PLA this year. So thank you all.
Thank you, Janet, for all the new avenues you're going down. We appreciate it.
Don't forget to turn your camera back, Jana.
I was walking back. I had my notes. There we go. Now I'm going to exit because I've got to add a story time online. So I'm going to leave them.
Okay. You have anything to add, Gina?
Well, I probably didn't attend near as many sessions as Jana did, but we had a really good time at PLA. There were a lot of really good programs that I attended. I always get a lot out of the exhibit halls because it's a time to really see all the new products and the new authors, to meet with our various vendors and learn what's going on. It's interesting from year to every couple of years that we go to see the new and latest thing. And so I did bring back quite a few things about if we're actually able to move forward with building Shell Knob and Monette. There's so many cool things for movable furniture now, interactive kid things. One exhibit where you can actually have all these different, what do I want to say? It's like, you know, like in the parks, how some of the playground furniture has the interactive things that the kids can play with. They can move the little thing back and forth, or they can turn this, that, or the other. Well, we can have that kind of stuff at the library. And so I think that would be kind of fun for the kids to be able to come in and have interactive, you know, end caps on the shelves, for example, where they can play. Of course, right now that would be a nightmare to clean, but with all the germs, but it was stuff like that that was really interesting to see. And it's really nice to be able to meet with people from across the country and find out that you all have the same issues as everybody else, or the new things that are going on, or the programs that they're doing. So every year we ramp up more and more stuff with technology. And so that's been kind of interesting to see as well. And it's nice to see young people joining the profession and being passionate about what they do. So And Rhonda and I are really expert now at getting, I had a little scooter that PLA provided so that I didn't have to walk and kill my knee. And so I'm telling you, by the end of the day, I'd be loaded up. We had bags hanging on the handles. I could barely have anywhere to put my legs. And then of course we had to haul all that stuff to the hotel, but it was good. We brought back a significant amount of books to hand out to our customers for summer reading. So, because a lot of the things they give away are proofs, so you can't put them in the collection because they're uncorrected proof copies, but for a customer, it's fine to give away for free. So
For kids, they could.
and kids, yeah, kids don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Ratify the April 24th closing. We need a motion to approve what we did remotely. So
I'll move.
Charles,
Charles,
Make a motion, we approve what we did remotely.
need a second?
I'll second.
Katie, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Request to close until further notice.
I thought maybe since we don't really know when we're going to open, like a real hard date, rather than having to keep coming back to you to ask for it to be continue, to continue. I'm working on a plan right now. I gave you all a document that was the return to work procedures. It's a draft thing. It has now morphed into a, I don't know how many pages I'm up to, about a 10-page document right now that I'm working on. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's gonna take us a while to fully reopen, and we're probably going to want to do a soft opening rather than a big announcement to the public. So a lot of libraries, instead of having a hard date, they have just said until further notice. And then of course we would roll that out to the public of how we're going to do that. But right now it's really hard for us to say, or for me to say to you, I think that we can really safely open on May 15th. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Right. Can we need to make a correction. That wasn't April 24th closing, it was March.
No, this was the extension. On March 30th, I had sent an email out to you all asking you to extend the, I can't remember what our original date was. April 6th, I think, was the original date, and you all voted to extend the closing through April 24th.
Oh, okay.
And
I thought that we had done that in March. We did do it in March, but I got it.
For the first date.
Yeah. Okay.
So
we need a request to extend our closing until further notice. Anybody like to make that motion? Thank
Wendy
you.
just
Move that we extend it till further notice.
Second it.
I second.
okay. So
All in favor?
Charles,
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. How and when to reopen the library safely?
okay, so the document that I sent to you all, the return to work procedures, this was a document that the state library got from Wyoming State, I think it was Wyoming State Library. And it was just sort of a guideline that they were putting out to people or to libraries to look at so that we could maybe gradually bring service back. And so that's what I put out to you is I just sort of put our logo on it and made a few correct changes based on our library system. The document that I've been working on is another one that we received from, I can't remember what group it was from, but it was for all libraries. It was a phased reopening plan as restrictions are lifted. And so in this particular document, there's some different levels of things. If we're under a stay-at-home order, how do we handle book drops? If we go to gatherings of no more than 10, how does that impact book drops? If we have no more than 50, and so forth. And so I'll be sending this document to you once I get it done. I was really close last night, but I was here till about 6:30 and I just said I got to go home. And so there's a few more things I need to tweak about how we're going to do like inter branch deliveries and how we're going to roll back, that back out. The big thing about the return to work procedures, and this has been a discussion across the state with the library directors, is how do we open up again, regardless of what kind of service, whether it's curbside delivery, do we allow people to use the computers by appointment? Do we, how exactly do we roll service back out without completely opening up our doors, which we really can't do until restrictions are fully lifted. If we can only have 10 people in the building, well, here in Monette, then nobody could come in, because by the time we have everybody in the administration and at the service desk, we've got 10 people. So how do we make that all happen? But we don't have the supplies. We have some masks, we have some gloves, we have pretty good amount of wipes, we have some hand sanitizer, and we have some Lysol, but we do not have enough for probably more than a couple of weeks.
We don't have enough for that.
And so Joyce has been periodically checking supply houses, and I can tell you we're going to pay a premium, which we're going to have to do. And so after the meeting today, we're going to sit down and make a concentrated effort to go ahead and order supplies. But every place that we've looked, even if we can get the supplies and pay the premium for them, it's 2 to 4 weeks before we can actually get those supplies in. So we can't even consider any type of opening until we're fully ready to protect the staff and for the customers to be protected when they come in. Even though I know we've not had any reported cases in Lawrence County, I think we're up to, do we have reported cases now?
Yeah. You have cases.
Well, that's what I was going to, even though we haven't had reported cases, we know there are people in Lawrence County that have been sick. We've got Marionville so close to Springfield. I imagine people are going to Springfield and we don't know, are they being counted as part of Springfield or are they being counted part of Lawrence? I just don't know. But I know Berry County's had 6 cases, and I know those people have been some of them have been to the Walmart in Monette, and we have people that are coming and going all the time. So we just have to we have to think as though the virus has probably been here, and we just don't know what the impact is going to be. So that's the big thing, is to have materials and procedures in place for staff to work safely, and to roll this out gradually enough that everybody's sort of comfortable with how we can do it, if that makes sense to everybody. And I don't know about you, but I'm a little paranoid about being out in the general public with my health issues. So the other thing Joyce and I have been discussing is, do we require employees to have their temperature taken every time they come into work? Although that can be a false sense of security, as we know that not everybody is they're asymptomatic, so they could be carrying the virus and we not know it. Do we require employees to wear a face mask the entire time they're at work?
Yes.
So I would say yes. And Connie, if we can't get enough disposable masks, Connie Kerbo's making all the staff 2 masks. They have the proper filter inside. I should have brought mine in. She's already given me and Madeline a mask. Enough for them to have 2 so that they can wear one, take one home and wash it and have a fresh one for the next day. If which is better than not having anything. So she got some special fabric that was recommended to go in between the 2 layers. And so that makes it breathable and whatever. So before there was a rush on everything. So she got it at a good price and has been using scrap fabric. And so I asked her if she would do that and we would reimburse her for the cost of making them. So she's I don't know if you know Connie, but she's quite the seamstress. So yeah. And she likes to do stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're at. I don't have a full plan ready to roll out, but when I do, I'll email it to you, and we can always do a quickie meeting like this to discuss it. So we don't have to have a full-on board meeting, because this seemed to work pretty well. I'm really proud. I'm proud of y'all. I could not sleep last night because I was afraid this wouldn't roll out live on YouTube correctly. So that's all I could think about. And then I was thinking, like, how can Joyce and I be seen? And so I see that we actually have 10 people watching our meeting right now on Facebook. So
Wow.
We're kind of in a better position than some libraries and public institutions are. We have a lot of information available to us that most people do not have. Our oldest son, Scott, is the liaison between the Department of Defense and FEMA. And he is on the coronavirus task force.
Wow.
So I get updates every other day. And it's just like when you say you've had no reported cases, that does not mean that you've had no cases. It means they have not reported that to the media, but they're being counted. And we do have cases all around us. They're just not put out to the public right now. So for people that say, you know, this isn't serious, this isn't going to harm people, trust me, it absolutely will. Most people you can ask right now, do you know of anybody that's even had it? The problem with that is they may have had it and did not know they had it. We actually lost, we now have 2 friends that have had it, and unfortunately one of them died from it, and that was in Springfield. So this is serious. It is quite contagious, and we do have to be smart about this to make sure that everybody's protected, not only the staff, but the public.
and we have to consider the liability of bringing staff back too early and not providing safety for them. So it's just stuff that we're in uncharted territory across the board.
One of the other things that we had talked about was when do we reach a point where we tell the staff that they're going to have to use some of their vacation for this leave? Or do they have to leave, use any of their vacation time for this? There's all kinds of things that's, other libraries have talked about. A lot of them have a lot of different opinions about it, but that's something too to think about that we may have to bring up in the May, because May we have to come up with we have to start with a budget for the coming year, because we have to vote on it in June.
I'll start working on our new fiscal year budget here pretty soon. And I just don't know how we're going to be impacted. The state librarian has already told us that we more than likely will not get any state aid or what's the other one? Equalization.
And we may not get, and we probably will get, if we get any at all, very little A&E, because most all of the athletic and entertainment venues are all shut down. So you're not collecting taxes from that also. So that makes a difference on what we budget, and that's all, that goes directly to materials. So that will definitely affect our materials budget for the coming year.
And we don't know yet how all this closure is going to affect our tax collections for the district. So I think we're going to have to be super conservative, more conservative than we've been in the past, which is why I brought up about whether or not we're going to fill these positions or not. If we're not fully open, we probably don't need these part-time positions right now. But certainly Mount Vernon's going to need a children's person. But I just don't know. I just don't know. I hate to, I wish I would do things with certainty, but nobody seems to know anything for sure. We're kind of looking, we're all, when we had these weekly meetings with the library directors, that's pretty much how it all goes. Even the state library said we're working on, they're trying to work on some documents to help us, but it's just difficult. So I appreciate you all letting us have that closed until further notice so that we have time to roll this out. And I promise we'll come up with a plan that is as good as it's going to get for us. And it may change as we go along and we see how things go. But I know everybody's pretty ready to get back to work just from talking with the supervisors, that they're hearing from their customers, and the customers are stir crazy about wanting stuff to read. But that's also scary because I know if we were open our doors completely, fully, that we would have people in here congregated, rubbing all over each other's space. And if Walmart is any indication, I went to Walmart the other day and I saw a family with 2 parents and 4 children under the age of 5 walked in right before me. I avoided them. I got my stuff and got out. But I thought that's what we deal with in the library, is that we'll have people coming in sick. I can guarantee it, because it happens all the time.
Mhm. They go to the doctor, they go to the pharmacy, then they come to the library, then they go home.
Exactly.
I have some children that throw up in the library and they came to get movies for the kids to watch at home.
So that's, knowing that has happened in the past, and that happened right before we closed, to the point where Greg actually texted me and said, don't come out here, because he had somebody sitting outside of his office coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing, no face mask or anything. So we just have to be safe. So,
Okay, does anybody else have any other business we need to talk about?
this is
Okay.
a record, you all. It's not even been an hour.
Well, then we need a motion to close, Charles.
I make it.
Yeah, I second. Julie.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye. Motion carried. See
Well,
you
thank
all.
you all. I appreciate you all very, very much. You
We
all stay,
appreciate you.
thank you. You all stay
Appreciate
safe,
You too.
and I'll be in
Thank you.
touch.
Okay.
Thank you, Gina, for keeping that
Bye.
library going.
I appreciate, thank you, Mr.
Amen.
Potter. All right. See y'all next
Bye.
time.
Bye-bye.
If I can figure out how to do this.
Beats me.
Oh, well, Fu.
Video. Maybe that's it.
There we go.
Leave.
End meeting.